Okay, what's going on? Happy Tuesday. Today we're going to show you how to clean up the line pump without leaving any mess whatsoever for the customer on site. We've got a nicely manicured lawn here, manicured property. It's an older home restoration. So we're going to go through the process here real quick about how we're going to achieve this without having to drain any concrete out on the ground, leaving any little piles behind, nothing. So I've pumped the hopper of the pump down about halfway down. You need to get it down about, or at least halfway I should say. We're going to close the lid up. Like so. Now we're going to head on out to the end of the hose, and I've got about 150 feet of 2-inch hose out here. We're running around the property. We put the hose caddies down so we don't damage the lawn. We went around the side of the house here. Come with me on a little tour. We did not go through the house because it's a heritage house. There's some really delicate woodwork in there, so we ran around the outside. We come in here. Just a little pour. That's Roger. Say hi, Roger. You're supposed to be funny and you say hi, Roger. Come on, come on. Come on. So how we're gonna do this here is shake the end of this hose out a little bit. Take our sponge, put it inside a plastic bag so it seals a little bit better. Sponge in the hose. Yeah. We'll put our blowout cap on here. Okay. Clamp this down. Oh, she's a tight one. Like so. Fire up a little compressor, let it build some air pressure. We'll let it get up to about 100 pounds. Make sure valve's closed, valve's closed. We'll connect this up while it's pressurizing. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the pump slowly stroking in reverse while applying air pressure to get that sponge moving. Because it's uphill to the pump, there's no way the pump would pull that sponge back just because of gravity as well as friction without the assistance of the air. Now what you don't want to do, don't have the pump stroking at too high of a volume in reverse, or it's going to suck whatever air this can produce to help push the sponge. It'll suck it back past the ball. It'll pull the air, but it won't pull the ball. So you really want to be stroking on this machine. It's about a stroke every 7 to 10 seconds is what I would recommend. So we're in reverse pump. See how our air is doing here. Little Milwaukee. It takes a while. It doesn't produce air overly quickly, but it's totally sufficient for what we're doing here. And with this big battery, that's a 12.0 battery, it'll run for about 40 minutes. So I'll let this build up. Very critical because it doesn't build a lot of air quickly. No leaks in any of your clamps, any of your gaskets. Everything has to be tight, tight, tight. Even the smallest leak and this thing won't be able to keep up. So we're up around 90 now. I'd say we're pretty good. We're going to crack the air. A little tough to see the gauge here, but we'll probably get her up to about 30 pounds and then we'll put it in reverse. There we go. Pumps in reverse and stroking. And now we'll open this up all the way and we'll feel for movement. And that sponge is moving. And I can feel it moving through the lines. And it's not a quick process. but you'll see when we're done, it's definitely worth the extra time. We'll end up with the hoses clean with no need for rinsing them. No piles on the grass, no nothing. Just throw everything back on the truck, maybe rinse the rubbers out, the rubber gaskets for the clamps. But other than that, everything can go back on the truck. I can feel I still got good movement here. Yeah, it's moving great. We're almost back through this first hose. When it gets far enough along, when we get 2-3 hoses in, especially because it levels off at the 2 or 3 hose mark, we could actually probably disconnect that compressor and just use the pump's vacuum to pull it the rest of the way. But we really need that compressor just to overcome these first couple hoses, especially on the downgrade. We've still got great movement here. And like I said, I think once I get the sponge beyond this point, I'm going to run down, I'll bleed the air off, turn the compressor off, disconnect it, and we'll just let the pump do the rest of the work. Yeah, this is moving very nicely. It really helps if you can get the concrete a little bit wetter, the last little bit of concrete that you pump into the hoses. The drier and stickier, the tougher it is, even with the compressor assisting you. I've still got mud in here, but it's moving. Keep your hand on the hose is a really good way of monitoring the flow of concrete. We're doing well here. Once I feel this get light, oh, you see the hose picking up? That's the sponge coming back. Okay, sponge is through here. I'm going to keep it stroking in reverse. I will go and shut off the air compressor and disconnect it. Compressor off, air off. When I open this up, see the pressure going down? It's going to have vacuum on it pretty soon. Okay, all the air is off. You can hear the vacuum pulling through there now. That's a tight clamp. I'll show you another trick while we're here. Take a not as tight clamp. See how clean the hoses are? The lighting's not the greatest, but all right, beautiful. Take a not as tight clamp. Like that. Perfect. Let's go back up. I bet that sponge is in the pump. The first hose off of the reducer, off the hopper of the pump, will probably have a little bit of cream in it, because once the ball passes through and pulls up into the reducer part way, a little bit of cream will fall down past it, but everything else should be spotless. We'll increase the volume a bit now, because our compressor's not attached. See that? Nice and clean. Probably could turn my vibrator off, because that's super annoying. Always safety pins and a safety sling off the pump, chains and a mat, keep the driver safe. There you go. We actually got lucky today. We didn't have any cream fall back down the reducer into the hose. So all this stuff, all we gotta do is unhook them, fire them back on the pump, and away we go. And my hopper it's full but not spilling over. Ideally, I would have been able to pump it down a little bit lower if I'd calculated a little bit more precisely when we were towards the end of the job. But I got lots of room here to travel to the next, to the washout area actually is where we're heading. And my bentonite that I caught on the prime, the stuff you don't want in the pour, I'll throw that in the hopper, and that comes to the washout area with me too. But yeah, right? No hoses to wash, no mess for the customer. Just break everything apart, load it on the pump, and we're out of here. I'll check in before we go, and I'll show you that we left it just as clean as we found it. If not, possibly more so. Did the operator really get it within a shovel full? That's the extra right there, one shovel. There was a lot of help. There was a lot of help from the team on that. I won't take all the credit. I won't take all the credit, but I might. All right, so there we are, all packed up. You can see there is zero mess on the ground. The lawn is intact. Lawn looks great. There we go. Perfect. Customer was very particular and concerned about the lawn. We did our utmost to keep it intact. So to do this, the easiest method that we found, rather than having a super long airline and having to drag it all the way out to the end of the hose or drag the hose back to the airline, is with this Milwaukee compressor. Compressor itself is not bad. Canadian dollars, it's about $300. The batteries are really expensive. That battery there is worth about $350. Fortunately for us, we already have Milwaukee tools in our fleet, so we already have the batteries, so the compressor is not that much more of an added cost. You'll need a blowout cap. You always want to have a secondary relief vent port on the blowout cap, a working air pressure gauge, the vent and the primary inlet spaced far enough apart if the sponge were to push back for whatever reason, you have means of relieving that air pressure that's in the line. Always 2 inlet outlets and always an air gauge. So yeah, it circles back to a question I see a lot of, especially in a down market like this, is how do I pick up work? What's everybody doing to pick up work? Well, I find one of the best ways to pick up work without slashing your price, trying to compete with the bottom of the barrel guys, the low ballers, is to do a better job, in short. So what I say by do a better job, leaving the site clean like this is extremely valuable. It has big value to the customer. They don't have to have any of their guys laboring, cleaning up piles of concrete, fixing the grass, dealing with getting rid of piles of concrete. We take everything away with us and leave it just as clean as we found it, and there is big value in that. I've noticed that our customers certainly do appreciate it. So that's what we do to try and pick up work and maintain work, and what we find is that we pick up good work. The customers that can appreciate the job site being left clean like this are generally the ones that we enjoy working with. So that would be my advice. And yes, I know there's certain markets where guys are going to say, why don't you put a candy cane on and pump back into the drum of the mixer? In our market, that is forbidden. It is not an option. The ready mix companies have strict policy against that, so we cannot do that. So this is what we do. So yeah, hopefully this helps somebody. It's the exact compressor, exact setup we use, obviously. Much safer than blowing the sponge out the other way, and you don't have the expulsion of air and potential mess associated with it. The only negative to this is now you've got to haul the concrete away, or you have a bigger washout pile. Well, sites like this, we haul it back to the ready mix plant to wash out anyhow, so it doesn't matter to me if the hopper is half full or 3/4 full. It doesn't hurt my feelings either way. I can see with a trailer pump, having a hopper full might be a bit of an issue, just for tongue weight and whatnot, but on a city pump like this, it works out just great. So anyhow, hope this helps somebody out there, and best of luck to everybody. I know it's a little bit tough times in the market right now. I feel like it's going to pick back up next year. It kind of has to, but yeah, this is just some of the things we've done over the years that have picked us up some decent work and some really great clientele. So hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep on pumping. Over and out.